Hello, everyone. Today we are talking to Marina Jacobi, who is one of my favorite people online that I cling to her almost every word.
And
And
it's amazing that you can because it's really complex.
yes, so Marina, you channel something called the Council of Nine and some other
And quantum physics.
and quantum physics, and you're not a quantum physicist. Is that correct?
No, I'm not. And let me clarify. I was contacted by so-called hybrids in 2010. And thank you so much for having me in your show and the summit. I really appreciate. Love to you both. You're wonderful people.
Thank you. We love you.
So at 2010 was the hybrids. I had automatic writing like a child, and that developed more and more. And I was talking to different entity, was never anything, special. They were always nice until 2010. I made a picture of almost looked like the gray, but they call themselves the hybrid. The hybrids, and they start teaching me. They told me the first time, be careful what you're thinking, because we can see your thoughts as an imagery in front of us, and every thought becomes a reality. And I'm a very curious person, and this is the beginning of them teaching me about a little bit of a quantum structure, what the reality is. They were the one that taught me to do detox of my body. So if you go in the Harmonic Reactor YouTube channel, you're going to see a playlist, Detox, Marina Jacobi Detox, and all the protocols there. Exactly the way I did it was 1 year of elimination diet with juicing and probiotics of Visbiome, I use for the gut flora. So they were the one. And then through that year, when they were talking to me, I also learned that we were in a prison planet of holographic archon artificial structure. And it was shocking to discover all that. So you go through shock, then you go through anger, then it's like, what else can you do? And after a while, they told me, okay, now you know where you at and what's happened to the planet. Let us teach you how you can get out of this matrix. And this was the beginning of all the information.
Yeah. So before we get into all of this stuff, I know a lot of people out there, and I'm including myself in that group. There's this thing with discernment. Like a lot of people in these years are waking up to this completely different reality. Many people move into very strict Bible Christianity, I call it. I myself am a follower of Christ. So that feeling and how a lot of people say, like when you talk about hybrids, you talk about ETs, you talk about grays. These are all demons or satanic entities. How do we discern between those that want to abuse us and those who actually want to support humanity's freedom, liberation, and love?
Well, I had since a child lucid dreaming, and I had predictions happen. I would dream something and it will become a reality. And when I start doing automatic writing at the age of 10 or 12, I don't remember, it was always positive. So I had no reason to think anything negative. However, when they contacted me in 2010, years later, I didn't have a fear. First, I'm very curious person. I'm very, I came in US with $600. I'm a fighter, I'm not worrying about adventures and really experience life. So what happened is I didn't jump with the 2 feet. I was curious. But what happened is when I didn't listen when they suggested something, which was always something nice, I end up in situations. And like a child, I learned my lessons and I start paying attention. And this is how I'm also Christian Orthodox, follow the Jesus Christ and stuff like that. But what I was taught from them. And after that, I have different entities coming, like the Council of Nine, Ra, the Pleiadians, and I was connected this way with them. They taught me that everything is based on the holographic imprints, your thought, your emotions, everything is a resonance, and the magnetic and gravitational field in combination with these resonances creates matter structures of different timelines, fractal momentums, and realities. And I have all that knowledge in the Harmonic Reactor YouTube channel, Quantum Manifestation, Season 1, and so on. And they literally explained to me how the reality works, and that everything is created from the sound frequency of Trinity. 3 different sounds create a molecule. They combine based on the resonance together and becomes Trinity structure. And that Trinity structure is starting to pulsate. And when pulsates, expands to infinite and collapses to infinite. And each expansion, it's reflecting itself to infinite numbers. So you're reprinting of the same frequency, of the same resonance, similar on vibrational sequence, new platform of the same structure. And this is how the reality is created. And with this one particle, you have the collective and you have the small. So when you talk about Jesus Christ and different religions, they are fractal momentum expression within that one particle that expanded into the collective. So when it collapses to your belief system of reality that you created, because through the platforms you've learned to be and you've chosen to be part of that particular religion or belief system. However, all the religions, the way they taught me, they're fractal momentum and expression of that collective God consciousness itself. Because consciousness is learning different ways of modalities to express itself. One day you're in the mountains, one day you want to be at the beach, and the next day you want to be chopping wood, for example. You're learning different expressions of yourselves. The same thing is with the religions. So they told me that Jesus Christ religion and belief system actually with the core itself holds a vibrational sound wave sonic frequency that if you tune in and start learning that creates, you can create based on that belief system specific timeline of reality through the heart, through loving and all the stuff the way we all believe into. However, through the fact that we're in a prison planet, you actually had entities that overtook our consciousness, lock you in an artificial timeline because your body modality is like a live battery force, and they can use it to sustain their timeline because they can't get out of the timeline, whatever they are, because it's artificial, it's negative on a frequency. And because of that, we were hijacked. And the religion, the true core of the knowledge was distorted. And that's why if you go to Vatican or stuff like this, I'm sure all of you are educated enough and know that a lot of books were not given to us. And if you really go into teachings, you will see that, for example, one of the most important words in the Bible was taken away, and that was frequency. And see, that should have been in the Bible. Well, what is not there? Because, in the Dark Ages, only the nobles and only the church, can read and write. Why? Because then you can control the peasants. Yeah. And actuality, all of them were expression and fractal momentum of God consciousness itself, and nobody should have been more than the other. So that was done for control. And also the control was to implement belief systems into the religion that you should never, ever praise other gods and stuff like this. This is not praising other gods. But when they told you that there's somebody outside of you and you're asking God to help you, you actually separated yourself in a hologram, and you think that there's somebody outside of there. In actuality, you're the one that even projecting the collective God consciousness itself. And you're also fractal momentum of that. So when you pray to somebody, you pray to the mirror image, the illusion of the reflection, and you gave your freedom away.
Yeah.
So that's why when they do that, you actually asking yourself, you gotta create it to see it, not to see it to believe it. And this was the manipulation, because whoever created that religion and whoever distorted the religion actually knew the quantum structure, and they knew how to manipulate it. So you give your powers away and you were condemned. And that's why it's not logical, let it put it this way, for you to think that there are billions of stars and it's only us. And there's no other life form like us, or similar, or genetically different humanoid, or some different type of consciousness. Is not logical, because even now in a national TV, even National Geographic, they're talking about life form in existence, and how many things they found in the pyramids and place like that, that there was a different life form. So history will be rewritten, and it's going to be very difficult for people that are not open-minded towards these new belief systems. They're not actually new belief systems. They're actually always been there. You've been indoctrinated to think the opposite. And the biggest manipulation was when they did everything possible to basically for us to go again to police each other and to condemn each other, because the first thing in a religion, you shall not judge. And yet the first thing anybody from type of religions, they go around, and if you don't believe whatever they say, or you don't believe whatever it says in the scriptures, whatever religion that is, then you're condemned to hell. And this was the manipulation, because you can never expand beyond this reality to realize that there's something more of that. And that was the manipulation. And you were shunned, and you were, nobody will talk to you, and you possessed and all the stuff. Yes, there are entities, there are platforms of reality timelines that is very dark and very negative. I don't work on that. I don't get this information, but there are some people that if somebody is being taken over by an entity consciously and being abused, there are people that know how that dark magic and stuff works, so they can free you from it.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually seen somebody that they did some kind of a dark magic to that person. They found out you can't even touch it. Whatever they do something with a soap and a hair. I never seen anything like this. They told me what they discover, but there is something like this existing. So it's in a lot of shows, actually. If you watch a lot of shows that they do, a lot of movies in Hollywood, they show that, because it's their belief system. Why don't you look at the football and the soccer players and whatever they do in the TV, you can see a lot of stuff there that are basically rituals that they perform on.
And it's becoming more and more. It's becoming really great now that they have to go through like the kneeling, and then they have to do this for Ukraine and this for the other thing.
Super Bowl. Go look at Super Bowl. It's always prediction. It's always the last one. You have Snoop Dogg with this outfit that had the stuff of Ukraine, the colors of Ukraine, and it looks like something on like a medical stuff on his stuff. These people, they could have been nice, but they're being bought from the industry. They become puppets through different means and actions that they've been taken against them. So this is how you're being manipulated.
But to me, it looks like right now that side, they're getting so like they're trying to force so many things through that they must be extremely desperate in their since they're doing it.
Yes, because consciousness is moving. God itself is moving to the next level of vibration of evolution. And this reality that they created, which is an archon, their consciousness cannot accumulate the frequency from the heart and the compassion to move itself to the next vibrational sequence of evolution timeline.
Yes. So that's one thing I'd like to talk about is like the creation and coming from the heart, because in especially the Western societies, like we have been forced up into our heads, and like everything that is of value only happens up here. And you were talking about like how we are all creating an individual reality. Like I'm creating my reality where you are in and Katrine is in, and you're creating a slightly different version of reality as I understand it. But it all comes like we're creating from the heart. Is that correct?
What they told me, and you're going to see that in the harmonic reactor book. Harmonic reactor book, it was given by the Pleiadians and is written in basically fractal codes. It's a lot more information in it. And they told me it's activating your consciousness and DNA when you read it, even if you don't understand it. And it's because every word becomes a sound wave, mm-hmm. and is in a certain pattern to open up and activate. They told me that the heart, it's a chamber of specific, that creates a specific resonance, coherent resonance. And when you start acting on the positive, you are starting to accumulate out of the quantum field, out of your matrix, when reflects back to you, when you put emotion and thoughts and action towards your field, projects into your quantum field and reflects back to you of the same. And this way you are starting to accumulate through the heart and becomes a certain spinning of vibration, which is activating your chakras and then your molecular structure. And you're starting to vibrate in a different resonance frequency, which is actually raising the vibrational sequence of the molecular structure to another level and becomes more silica and more coherent, which is actually closer and mimicking the higher vibrational timeline above the three-dimensional structure. And this is how you actually pop out of the reality little by little in a daily basis when you start acting from the heart with compassion and joy and love and not a judgment or humanity. You are actually accumulating more and more and more. And when you reach a certain frequency, you're going to start projecting synchronicities in your life that while you're holding the vibration with the 3D structure, the archon, you're going to create another reality within the reality of the archon, which your reality will hold a higher frequency of experiences compared with what you see. And this is how the shift is happening. More you accumulate, more positive will come to you, more different situations will stop. And this is my teachings, the quantum manifestation. My material is based on how you connected consciousness with matter structure to get out of the timeline of the archon structure. This is what I teach. That's how they taught me, an imagery and a location, how you switch, how you accumulate and what you do. And it's very specific protocol. When you start studying, you will see how important and how challenging it is to get away from the illusion that they told you that the mirror image is you. In actuality, you know very well, but you gave your power away. So there's a very specific protocol to do that so you can get out of the matrix. And when you activate your body and consciousness, you're starting to experience at the same time when the 3D is running, high vibration on resonances, on experiences. That's why you may see somebody struggling. In the meantime, you may have maybe a business or something else that you're going through the process, and you always have something to put food in the table. Because you got to understand that whatever you were accumulated in a daily basis through your actions, you reactivated your chambers and everything you do, and you start vibrating in a higher sequences compared with a 3D matrix. And your reality timeline that you're creating in a daily basis is above the structure of 3D.
Yeah, I'm really curious. So maybe in the beginning you thought that this was very complex and you didn't understand it. Did you go anywhere to anyone to get confirmation? Some physicist or?
No, what happened is for a couple of years, they taught me constantly in my thoughts, they taught me, I had automatic writing. They taught me how to start hearing directly. They told me it's always there. So I was trained to do that. And all of a sudden imagery in my mind and thoughts will come in. And for example, in the entire information is downloaded. And then I'm able to visualize it and open it page by page in my mind. And if they give me that much of a script of quantum physics of information, I was able to explain it. I was able to see it and knew exactly what to say and how to say it. It's
But
almost
are there physicists out there that they can come?
I'm sorry.
Oh, we're frozen.
Something's frozen.
Oh, there you are. But have you met?
The way I was taught, to answer your question, I was taught from the extraterrestrials. I didn't study from any of the schools here. I was even asked how this happened. And the council said, well, to the scientists, if I gave you that information, would I believe everything I said? Because a lot of stuff that I said was the opposite of what they were talking about. So they would ignore it. But not only this, you have to have the specific frequency accumulated in your heart and vibrational sequence hold your body into different resonance to be even able to download the information. Because just because you're a scientist, that doesn't mean within your heart you really are in that particular understanding and level of compassion. We're talking greed, money, importance, stealing from somebody else's material. And I'm saying this for a reason. Because I work behind the scenes and people call me and tell me this person is doing something, that person is doing something. I know what's happening behind the scene. But what the council told me, and I have that in prediction and downloads book on my website, marinajacobi.com, they said, and I'm quoting, for the scientists and even the channelers, they said, your scientific input and your power and your importance, they said, is not going to be criteria for us. What they're going to collect and what they're going to look into somebody, so they work in the future with scientists and people like us, is what you accumulate within your heart through your actions. Because just because it's not exactly scientifically the way they thought, that doesn't mean that my information is not true.
No.
And for you to go and say, oh, it's just the intuition, is not science, it's disrespectful to somebody's material, especially when everything is given in the name of humanity and you put yourself through so much through the years. Because they also taught me energy philanthropy. I donated everything to humanity. I have donation button, but anybody can download and watch anything for free, no matter where you at. And I was taught from ground zero, and I went through suffering when my whole family had a challenging time. I didn't know what to put in the table. And then I started manifesting the way they taught me quantum manifestation. So nobody can tell me this is not working and not possible. Because I was taught from ground zero how to manifest, how to do the structure, how to disengage with the illusion in a hologram, so I can start accumulating the proper frequency for me to project and shift and manifest holographic imprint of reality timeline that will give me whatever I need to the next moment, which is an infinite probability how it will happen. That is of disengaging with the old dogma and prejudice that was given for anything else. So for me, it was not important. This happened to me, that somebody downsized my material. But for me, it was not important to be here and to be there. For me, it was important to give it to humanity, and not who will prove and who will not. I was not there to convince. I was there to present. This is my truth. This is my reality. But I knew what I had, and eventually people will find out. And there was a scientist that ended up writing a letter to all of them and telling the whole scientific community that to stop pretending that they don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Because I had a nanoscientist that came in and took my nanomaterial before it was published. And he did tell me that he knows I'm the real thing. And when I discussed that, we had a discussion, and he said, well, I don't think so humanity is ready for this technology yet. And I said, well, with all due respect, which type of a timeline we're talking about? Humanity is being suppressed, is being lied to, is being manipulated. It's time humanity to be taught this new information. So for me, humanity is ready. We just get to get them ready.
Right.
And of course, I was not approved, I guess. And I never heard from that person again. So, but for me, this was not hurtful or anything like this. I was surprised, but I was not upset because that person or these people are being watched.
Yeah.
And they told me that in the future, we're going interstellar. And the new pillars of society will be the people that are accumulating in the heart. And individually, we're going to be contacted from extraterrestrial groups to work together to move and shift humanity to the interstellar platform. Who do you think these people are going to be? It's not going to be the ones that are famous and charging $1,000 just to download a frequency to somebody. Or $500 of a session when people are suffering.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. It's not a judgment. I'm painfully, obviously hurt when I see that, when people do that. But you, at this moment in history, cannot put a price in the human suffering. And that's what I would do. So if I have to be the only one to do it, I better be the only one to do it, even when I went through suffering to achieve that level. So scientists and channelers and people like you and anybody else has to work in coherence together, because I've worked with scientific groups behind the scenes. And the way it worked, they will ask me, for example, the scientists will ask me certain question, which I had no idea what they're asking me. And I will ask to be explained what they mean. And they will say, well, is this thing and this was happening here? And all of a sudden I get a download. Mm-hmm. And I'm able to explain more than something they don't know about. So it was like co-working together. But how many of them are open to that? Some of them are, and some of them are not. And there were scientists that the information was not given to them. Because I had somebody ask me, well, this person developed this free energy. Can you please tell me what is inside? No, I would not tell you what is inside. This is not your device. You did not create that. How dare you even asking about that? Yeah. So they will not give information, and they will. And there were situations that my guides, for example, will tell me not to work with this person or stop working with that person because they see what's happening in the scenes. I don't know everything, but they can see. And if I don't listen, this is the moment when I get myself in a situation, when I find out, because just because somebody is giving the work, that doesn't mean that this person will hold in a heart and not get greedy when you find out how much money you can make of what we do, and continue the work truly from the heart. Ego can sneak in, and you can be extremely.
How do we, like, the people that are sitting and listening to this interview right now, like the times we're moving into are going to be very difficult for many, or for some. So how do we as individuals go into this time and create the realities for ourselves and our families where we will be okay and be on that timeline to go in the right direction?
Well, when you embed in your consciousness that you already are okay and you're behaving from that momentum of understanding, then you shall create synchronicities to create for you to be okay. This is how it works. So if you want to project that reality, you have to know in the now that this reality already exists.
Yeah.
Then you take in action from that momentum to crystallize it, to see it. because everything in a quantum structure, in a quantum field, in consciousness, God itself coexist at the same time.
Yeah.
What reality you're going to experience physically is the one that you took physical action to create it, to see it. If you imagine something, if you meditate for something, that becomes a blueprint in your matrix. But that blueprint's got to be constructed. And this is when the quantum manifestation protocol comes in.
But a lot of us that have, I'm assuming a lot of people that are listening to this, but for instance, us, we have come to this, let's talk about awakening process, because of vast amounts of trauma. And so that's something that has cracked us open so the light can come in and we can see it. But for many in this group, there's also a lot of fear and resistance and scarcity mentality, victim mentality because of all that trauma. So how do we step over into that when many of us have that nagging fear on the spine?
That's a quantum structure. Who is we?
Yeah.
We is the collective expression from your own consciousness in the collective. So each time you create your version of reality right now, express emotions and thoughts, imagine that humanity already getting it. Not that humanity is not getting it. If humanity already getting it, that means the next momentum you're going to shift, you're going to create completely new earth. You're going to shift your consciousness into this one. And you're going to project the frequency of the expression of these people, another version of them, based on the fact that they're going to start getting it. How many times you need to do that? You got to override that frequency to project the new version of them. And this is what I teach. It's very complex right now, I know, but you don't hold the belief system that humanity is not getting it. You hold the belief system now, even when you don't see it, reality within the reality, to mutate the reality that people don't see it and shift to a new earth when you're going to express and project another version of people seeing it. And you're going to do over and over and over and over again in order to mutate the previous structure. You don't reject your own structure, you mutate it to a new one. And that may take time, like a curvature of overriding one structure within another. Think of it a frequency. I'm sorry about that. Okay, can you see me?
Yeah, we can see you fine.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry. Somebody just
Oh, it's perfectly okay.
You're a busy lady.
We know you're very popular. We waited a whole year to get to talk to you. I booked that time last time.
Yeah,
I was like,
we're so excited.
But that's also amazing because that means that so many people out there are getting at least parts of your stuff.
Can remember what it's all about. And and I've been different all my life, and now it makes perfectly sense when I connect to other people, or I just read other people's comments under your videos and other videos, and I can see that we're the same. We came to do the same thing. We're here for the same reason. So we have different jobs, but we came for the same reasons. And I've known this all my life, and now it's unfolding, and I'm daring to unfold myself little by little, because sometimes I know things that this part of me doesn't know. I don't know. So when I start talking, I'm been taught something, and it's just I'm so surprised by myself what I'm saying, and I'm like, yeah, that was really clever. I just love it. I love it. It makes sense.
Well, it's a knowledge that was given to all humanity. When you learn quantum manifestation, you're going to learn the protocol, how for you to be your own consciousness and not give your power away, and how you can construct and deconstruct your matrix so you shift the timelines of realities. And that is actually your key for another dimensional existence.
I really love this future we're moving into right now.
And we know it.
Yeah.
We know it. It's this is why we came. So I have no doubt at all. I'm just sad that many people are experiencing hardship and they're suffering. That's just what I don't like about this. But everything else I really love.
Yeah, and the continual belief in the powers that be or were, that like they keep believing the lies, and we can see the pain that they're going through, and all of humanity is going through because of the clinging onto the old world. So that's for me is very difficult to watch.
We have to be able to let go, because they have chosen to experience that, and we have to be able to love them enough to allow them to experience whatever they have chosen.
Yeah.
And that is very difficult because we are compassionate, we love humanity, and we want humanity to move forward. But remember, if you study my material, you're going to realize that you already made it, and you're creating it individual structure, how you made it for yourself within the collective.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that I have projected that version of myself to tell me these things. It's a very beautiful version too.
Oh, thank you very much. So do you guys. Hello.
Weird. Physics are weird. That's
everything is weird.
Everything is weird.
Everything is weird.
But we love it. It's This is the fun part, right? Remember.
Yeah, I love that. I actually, my forte is that I'm not the original, like a psychic. I can see timelines and I can see certain stuff, but that will be based on what is a vibrational sequences, because you're going to learn that every moment has reality for itself, and reality within the reality always spinning, and how you combine the realities and how you collapse them of an outcome. And that's what I teach, 1 + 1 = 3, the way they taught me, because between your reality and my reality, we creating third version, and which is also one unit, also one reality for itself. It's like a mutation. The way you have your own existence of timelines, whatever you do daily times, the same time I have my own existence, However, right now we co-creating a third structure, which is one reality at the same time. So that's why 1 + 1 = 3, which is equals, again, one unit of hologram.
Oh, yes. Oh.
Are you crying again?
Yes, I'm crying again.
He's always crying.
Tears of truth and joy.
Yeah. Thank you, Marina.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
You're doing, and we're going to put like all the links in the email that goes out with this, so that people can find you and discover your materials. And I cannot recommend it enough. It's so helpful, and it's like really through the last couple of years, having your Saturdays to look forward to has really been a massive help.
Thank you. Every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, New York, I do live webinars. So if you sign up in my website, marinajacobi.com,
we're going to link to everything in the email.
That webinar.
Yeah.
We're going to link to everything.
Thank you. And please send me your link so I can post it and promote it into my platform. Whatever I need to promote, you send me that thing.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. I love you. Thanks so much.
Love you.
Bye, world. Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you just saw, head on over to whoselifeisitsummit.com/podcast, where you can find full-length episodes as well as in audio format, and we do a lot of other cool stuff. You can hang out with us and other like-minded individuals who want to create a world that works for everyone. And we do that on our platform, where we can chat, and we have Q&As and exclusive interviews as well. So there's so much to get over there. So come on over and play with us.